So assets will go up according to the balance sheet. I think the balance sheet goes up significantly, 30% plus over time. Therefore, the equity market can go up 60% in the S&P, maybe more. So new all-time highs in the next 12 months or so, maybe a bit longer. NASDAQ gets there sooner because of its relationship. Crypto moves very fast.
Hello， 大家好，欢迎回到北美韭菜日记，我是九九。Raoul Pal 是我比较喜欢的一位投资人，他的身份其实有很多，最早是对冲基金里的宏观交易员，现在是 Real Vision 财经媒体的创始人。经常看财经视频的朋友们对他应该也都不陌生。现在他的身份给人的感觉可能和 Tom Lee 差不多，都是财经评论员，聊宏观经济，聊美股市场、加密货币等。但说实话，我对他的评价是要比 Tom Lee 要高的，尤其是对市场走向的敏感度上。Raoul 这边对加密货币的看法比我还激进很多，在去年6月第一次大跌的时候就说见底了，11月份的时候又直接满仓干进去了。我当时加仓加密货币，包括 Coinbase 这类币圈概念股的时候，有一部分动力也来自于他，所以这里必须要给 Raoul 点一个赞。Raoul 对于后市的看法，大家刚刚也听到了，他认为不论是标普500、纳斯达克还是币圈，在接下来的12个月内都有可能创出新高，主要是因为全球各国央行上涨的资产负债表，而且他认为这波币圈的牛市行情更像是2013年而非2019年。2013年由于时间太久，咱们就不说了，单看2019年这一波小牛市的行情里，比特币的价格是从底部翻了3倍的。所以翻译一下 Raoul 的话，就是说他觉得今年比特币涨幅会超过3倍。正片开始前呢，还是先提醒一下，此段采访视频可能会引起你强烈的 FOMO 情绪，但是也请注意一下，比特币今年的年初至今涨幅已经是 70%， 币圈今天的恐慌贪婪指数也已经到了68，非常接近极度贪婪了。况且在2019年，比特币虽然是在4个月内涨了3倍，但是在之后的半年内又跌去了 50%。在20年312遇到全球大流行的时候呢，又在几天内下跌了 60%。所以加密货币投资有风险，要不要投资，要怎么投资，各位朋友请根据自身情况好好斟酌。OK， 如果你喜欢此类采访视频，还请在开始前给本期视频点一个赞。对于 Raoul 的观点有任何自己的看法，也欢迎在评论区内留言，完整版采访的链接我也会放在视频评论栏当中。 OK， 那么废话不多说，一起进入正片环节。
How fast, I think, is the next big question that people will have when it comes to asset prices. Obviously, Balaji Srinivasan very publicly coming out and saying he believes that Bitcoin will hit $1 million in the next 90 days. Not just saying it, though. Also, I think he's up to $2 million that he has bet in this public manner that it's going to happen. I think there may be some confusion or debate in terms of whether he is claiming that there is going to be hyperinflation or there is simply going to be kind of an awakening globally of Bitcoin's value proposition, which would then drive the price higher. How do you look at how quickly asset prices could rally on something like this? And then what is your current view of Bitcoin itself?
So, generally speaking, over time, the observable relationship, because it's a 97.5% correlation between the G5 central bank balance sheets and the S&P 500, is every time it grows by 1% or shrinks by 1%, the equity market moves by 2%. So we've got a clear relationship. And so, I don't know, we just increased the balance sheet by whatever it was, 5%, let's say. So therefore, equity markets go up 10%. That's roughly how it works. However, NASDAQ goes up at a multiplier of about 1.4 times the S&P because it's got a technological uptrend and it's probably accelerating as AI, robotics, and all of these things come in. And crypto's got a much bigger multiplier. So let's go back to the last time we saw this, which was December 21st, 2018. The Fed just stopped and said, right, we're not going to increase the balance sheet. We're not going to raise rates any further. Not going to decrease the balance sheet. Not going to raise rates any further. Over the next 6 months, crypto was up 300%. So Bitcoin did 300 and something percent. The exponential age stocks, which are the really kind of growthy ARK style stocks, they were up about 30%. The NASDAQ was about 22%, something of that magnitude. The S&P was about 15%. And so we can see that relationship happens. So my view here is I got into Bitcoin. So assets will go up according to the balance sheet. I think the balance sheet goes up significantly, 30% plus over time. Therefore, the equity market can go up 60% in the S&P, maybe more. So new all-time highs in the next 12 months or so, maybe a bit longer. NASDAQ gets there sooner because of its relationship. Crypto moves very fast. I got into Bitcoin in 2013 because I lived the European banking crisis and obviously the financial crisis. But the European banking crisis was very similar to what's happening now. The local bank in the village that I went in went under and took everybody's deposits. They bailed them in. We had a run on deposits, liquidity issues. They were invested in things that were illiquid, which was real estate. Real estate market had come under pressure. Very, very similar. Too many small banks in Europe. And so Draghi backstopped the whole lot. That whole situation, I've forgotten where I was going with this now.
The banks are why you got into Bitcoin.
Yeah. So I saw this and I realized that there was no trust in the financial system. Nobody knew who owned what when Lehman went under. And they were terrified of others going under because of the same issue, because the daisy chains of collateral are everywhere in this market. And then when you realize in a bank, you don't actually own your money. And people are now realizing that. And the treasurer and the Fed are like, well, we'll just pretend that it's okay. That drives people into this parallel financial system. I got into Bitcoin in 2013 for exactly this reason and have been an active participant of the market ever since. And so I think what Balaji is saying is, listen, guys, here's the life raft. You can take it. Now, Bitcoin's relationship with the Fed balance sheet is really interesting because it goes up exponentially. So if I look at it versus M2 year on year or the Fed balance sheet year on year, it massively outperforms in the bull markets and then pulls back when the liquidity comes out of the system again, but it keeps going up. So yes, I think there is a potential setup here for Bitcoin and the whole crypto market actually to be shockingly strong, more like 2013 than 2019. 2019, we had that big correction, and that was partly due to this G5 central bank balance sheets. Some of them were contracting over that period of time, and it pulled back the crypto market. This time around, I don't think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see all of the central banks falling into place because there's banking issues both in Europe and the US, and China has its own issues. So that they've all got the same issue, which is debt. They're all going to have to stimulate. So I think it's more likely to play out like 2013, which is very squeezy, then sideways consolidation, then very squeezy. Because, you know, every time we go through these cycles, more and more people understand what the benefit is of Bitcoin. And now we've got 300 million people that have used Bitcoin and other crypto. The next time around, it'll be 1 billion people or 600 million people or whatever the number is. And those people will have been awoken to the fact that there is another way out of this. Now, the issue is, as we all know, is Bitcoin is extremely volatile. So it's very hard to think of it in terms of, well, it's a wealth preservation asset because people's time horizon is too short. But if you hold it long enough, it does extremely well. It does better than the Fed balance sheet, better than any other asset in existence. But people get freaked out by the up and down move. But if they just zoomed out, they see it does a phenomenal job at opting out of the financial system over time. But, you know, maybe you need to keep liquidity and other stuff for when you need it, as opposed to the crypto cycle, which can be quite vicious.